Now let's focus on procedures. Now for those new to ABAP, there are a couple of techniques for modularizing code that you should really concentrate on. And that's what we're going to cover here. When we want to split our programs into separate modules, we can use what are called procedures. And procedures are processing blocks that we call from our main ABAP program. Now procedures come in the form of subroutines or subprograms and function modules. And we use subroutines mainly for local modularization of our code. And what I mean is a small modular unit of code that is self-contained, that is called from the program in which they are defined. So it's just like grouping together, let's say 20 lines of code, wrapping it up into a subprogram, and just moving it to the end of your program, right down at the bottom, still in the same file, but just moved away in its own little container. So we can use these subroutines to write functions that we use many times within our programs. And at the same time, any ABAP program can include subroutines. Now function modules, they work a bit different. They allow us to create modular blocks of code that are held separate to our ABAP program. And they can be called from any other program. So subroutines are local to our own program. Function modules are global and can be called from any program. You will see both sets of modularization techniques used throughout an SAP system. But by far the most used, in my eyes at least, are function modules. And an SAP system is packed with function modules. They encapsulate all the processing logic used within the business system. And SAP have made sure they can be reused both by their own development teams and by SAP customers. Now when we took a look at include programs, I mentioned an include program cannot accept any parameters. Procedures are different because they have an interface for transferring data from our calling program to the procedure itself. So because we can pass data into a procedure, it also means we can define data definitions within the procedure itself that are only available to that procedure. So enough talking, let's have a look at how we create subroutines and see some of this in action.